Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is the third season, or the third reoccurrence of the Pot of Ages, uh, the best League of Legends podcast brought to you by two people that are hard stuck silver.
Hey now, listen, I will not be slandered on my own podcast.
Look,
Our own podcast.
just because we can play against people that are plat doesn't mean that we can get to plat.
I'm gold right now.
You made gold?
Yeah, I'm gold four. I'm gold four.
Gold 4,
You know,
nice. I am
27 games in.
silver 3, playing grinding Zaya now, doing 50k damage a game, more than anybody else on my team, and still losing.
That's the way of it. Yeah, no, watching the games all up through plat that Kali has been grinding through has been hysterical. No, it's definitely a complete fiesta all the way through Emerald, probably. So, nothing new to report really on that front, I suppose.
So speaking about new to report, it's been a while since we've been around. Bring us up to date on some of the big news that other people who might have taken a break from League, like myself, might have missed.
Well, I mean, I feel like the big thing on that regard that must be said is TSM is leaving the LCS, so that must be big news to anyone who has been out of the scene for a while. But that's finally happening. CLG has obviously exited last year, is now Energy. We've learned this year that super teams are basically a lost cause, that GMs are either inept or terrible people or both. And really, I suppose everything is as expected in the world of League of Legends. China is on top. Korea is still good, but we'll see how it goes once we get into Worlds 2023.
Worlds 2023 is right around the corner. This is being recorded on Saturday. Games start if you're in the Western realm tomorrow.
26 hours before
Tomorrow
the BDS
evening.
GG cook-off, I want to say. Something around there. Well, 26 hours before kickoff, we'll say.
And so if you're watching this on YouTube, obviously Worlds might have started already. So we can...
And GG has already swept BDS 3-1. Shocker.
Is it a sweep if it's 3-1? It's a reverse sweep.
It's just as in a quick series, dealt with a little type of situation.
So we can kind of talk about Worlds. I think would be a good segue to talk about Worlds. Would be talking about our pick'ems. Would be a good way of talking about Worlds.
I think that's actually a great place to kick off, since that is relevant and locking in a few hours.
So,
well, I say we go from the bottom to the top.
Bottom to the top. Okay, I'm gonna make some changes while we do this. We did this the other day, and then I am still coming off of almost a year break, 9-month break. Apparently, I did play season or split one. I don't remember it, but I'm coming off a break, so I will be changing these as my insight regrows. I get that intuition to play the game. I need the cat would make an appearance. Let's see if he hops up here. So, which team will play the most different champions at Worlds? It's going to be a team that makes it long. Makes it into the best of fives. That's where a lot of those picks are going to be coming from once those best of five metas start coming through. So who's making it deep and flexing some champs?
I have, for this one, China's number 3 seed, Billy Gaming, BLG. Just because their solo laners are both pretty diverse players. I expect Yagao will probably be on control lane duty for most of the tournament, but he might pull out a few of his more flavor picks in the games. But Bin is a carry player and also a fine role player at top, probably one of the best top laners in the world easily at this point. So I expect he'll play a lot of champions. So I have Billy here just because I had LNG as another contestant on this, and if I was more confident in Dom 1, I'd probably pick them, but we're going to just go with, I think Weibo is a fine consideration as well.
So my pick, it's not letting me make any new picks because Riot Games is a small indie company and their stuff works perfectly all the time. I had Weibo just because I think Xiaohu's gonna go deep in the pool. And I can't even remember why else I picked them. Who's it on? Is
The
there
Shy.
the Shy?
Probably.
Um,
The Shy will play a bunch of stuff, probably.
and is it on? Is there support? Or am I just pulling it out of my ass right now?
So, let me check. I always mix up the bot lane or the supports on BLG and Weibo for some reason. It is no, they have Crisp. That's right, they do have Crisp. Nice, yeah. No, Weibo is a pretty hysterical super team on just straight up on paper.
Run down their roster real quick for us.
It's the Shy top lane. They have Wei playing jungle now, but they also have Karsa on the lineup, and then Xiaohu, Light, and Crisp. Karsa's had a pretty crap year, so there's a reason he's not the active player. But once upon a time, we all know what Karsa can do. It's been a few moons since he's been in that form. So
you got BLG making it deep, picking the most champs.
Mm-hmm.
I got Weibo going deep, picking the most champs. Who's gonna win?
Oh, that's gonna have to be JDG. I know people love to meme China first seed always explodes and such, but they literally have not dropped a best of 5 all
Isn't
year.
it LNG is his first seed?
No, it's JDG. LNG beat BLG, but lost to JDG in the finals. JDG has not lost a best of 5 literally all year. They are pretty crazy good right now.
Okay, I'm getting JDG and LNG mixed up. It's hard for me with all those fucking abbreviations over there. Like, give me a team name.
Everything. Well, I mean, I think it's Jindong Gaming.
Jindong Gaming.
I don't know what LNG's the first two on.
I can't pronounce Chinese. I'm not even going to pretend to. I am also going with JDG to win it all. There's no way that someone's going to beat Knight and Ruler in a best of 5 with 369 fucking they're doing this thing.
Yeah, no, I think a lot of people will be looking at the LPL finals and being, well, they seem pretty beatable. Like, that was literally when Kanavi was playing probably his worst series of the year, and they still win. So if, the players don't play badly, what hope do you really have? At this point, Ruler is like
it's my mantra as I play bot lane is I am Ruler. I do the SSG skin for Xayah.
It works.
And back to see the beautiful autograph that he left us. Which team will have the most Baron steals? Now, it's someone who is going to be behind in games generally, but is scrappy, but also has to have a baller jungler.
I don't know if I like my answer here. Actually, I've been thinking about it. I might have to change it. I'm going to change this one.
You can change it? From who to who?
All right, well, I had LNG, just honestly only because I was thinking, well, Tarzan's going to steal a bunch of Barons. Tarzan's really good. But then I was just thinking about how their games have been all year. Or not really all year, but at least towards this latter half of Summer Split. They generally just kind of roll through you, and I just don't see them being in situations where they need to steal Barons. Like, it'll happen. It's potential for sure, but I just don't see if I'm going to go with the most,
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to change it to Damwon.
And who's Damwon's jungler?
Canyon.
And Damwon will probably be behind her in some of the LPL games. They match up with them.
They've had a rough year.
It's a good choice for that. My choice was Damwon. My runner up here, just because I think that they're going to make it out of the Swiss and make it in some best of 5, and it's G2. And I think G2 is going to have to be playing ballsy as fuck, and I think Jankos is going to be jumping into the pit to steal a Baron
Yonkos isn't on G2 anymore, buddy.
Wait, what? Who's their jungler?
It's Yike.
Yike! Whoa, I've been
Man,
out of the game. Whoa,
yeah,
okay.
you didn't
It's
watch
Damwon.
LEC finals.
Dude, I didn't watch any LEC finals.
Yeah, no, in typical G2 fashion, they completely fucked up the contract dealings with Yankos and then sold him to a like tier C organization that just entered the LEC called Team Heretics, which at least was coached by Peter Dunn. But they had, we'll say, proverbial infinity weights in the solo lanes and a pretty bad support. And Yankos had to drag that corpse across the finish line. Luckily, in summer they upgraded their mid laner, and then they had a pretty decent run because I think they picked up video. They did. They picked up video and had someone to play through. And then the real kicker is that TSM bought the mid laner they replaced that was so terrible in like the first half of the LEC and proceeded to play him for like a game or something before they realized that no, this was terrible and put insanity back in. It's been, man, you've missed a wild show. Honestly, this year's been hysterical.
So did Yike have the balls?
Yike is good.
Is he filling the jockstrap that Jankos left behind?
No, you can't. Like Jankos is still one of the best Western players of all time, you know, and seeing him play with such a crap team all year, it's still very obviously be the best jungler in the league. It's no different. The team works around Yike incredibly well, and he's expanded his repertoire. He's grown a lot all year. At MSI, he was not impressive, but I think the team works better now. But I still don't think like like he can steal Barons. I would believe that he could totally steal Barons in some games that G2 will 100% be behind it. You know, but
okay, so it's Damwon who's going to steal the most Barons.
Yeah, yeah, I'm down with that. I forgot that you had Damwon actually. That's funny.
Shortest team at Worlds, and I'm going to stick behind this. I have G2, just because I think in the best of ones they're going to get a run on somebody, and they're just going to fucking draft fucking early game fucking fighting and just go for it.
I think that's a fair guess. I have JDG just because I'm fanboying ultimately on how good that team has been all year. I'm not gonna lie.
Some people I've been watching a lot of videos trying to reintegrate league analyzation into my life, and some people are saying that play-in stage is going to have the fastest games, where there's just going to be just a bad mismatch, and it's going to be over in 17 minutes.
I mean, that's very possible. I'm definitely interested to see how the play-in stage will be this time because we don't have China and Korean 4th seed in there to just be literally clubbing baby seals. You know, it's been ugly. So I'm glad that we have a play-in seed that's going to be focused more on the wildcard regions, as they're called, you know, and have some good minor league matchups, see how they play out. I could see GAM rolling Australia, though. Like, that sounds very plausible.
Hey, my picks are back. Actually, so I had which team with the most Baron Seals? I had Weibo.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, Weibo's good.
So, which team from region with 2 seeds or less will advance the furthest through Worlds? So, who's coming in from the play-ins, and who is making a statement? I have PSG Talon.
I think it's a good guess. I got GAM, which I feel like is the obvious AB. You know, I just like Levi. I like a team that plays around there. Having a carry jungler, obviously being a jungle player, that's fun to watch. He's good. They do crazy comps. I hope to still see some.
I don't want to talk too much about the minor regions, just because I know very little about them, and I'm sure anybody watching only knows major regions. Your guess is as good as mine. GAM or PSG, the bigger names there. Let's get into the juicy stuff about the players. which I have one player on here quite a lot. And some of this is where we line up the most, I think. Who's gonna get a pentakill? At least one.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this one is definitely. Oh, they erased my picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one.
The
is
website works as well as the client does. Ready for League 2 win?
I have a ruler for at least one pentakill. Because
I also have ruler for at least one pentakill for 100 points in the pick'ems. Come on, buddy, you can do it.
I think it speaks for itself a lot of times there.
Who will get the most first bloods? I think we both have Kanavi.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Who will have the highest KDA at Worlds? I think we both have ruler.
Yep. And I think if I would
Knight's a good second choice, but Knight also does go in a bit more. He plays a bit. He's not always playing the ADC.
I think the other way to angle this answer though is to pick somebody who's going to play few games.
True.
And could hold a KDA, and I would be the devil's advocate here to recommend something like Han Sama. Because I think there is a world where Han Sama only plays 4 or 5 games in the whole tournament.
Yeah, but if G2 loses, Han Sama's dying.
I mean, maybe he could not. We could choose them, like, honestly, just pick maybe Noah, Fnatic's ADC. He's definitely only playing like 3 or 4 games. And there was a period of time where he was deathless.
See, I was a bit confused for a little bit because I've been watching a lot of Tracking the Pros, and I keep seeing FNC Reckless on there. And I'm like, is Reckless back on Fnatic?
He was earlier this year. And then literally...
Stop hiring Reckless.
Literally, he threw their entire playoff run by not auto-attacking an open Nexus.
Stop hiring Reckless. Stop hiring Reckless.
And then he like flashed in place and killed himself, and they lost the series. And then he announced he was role swapping to support.
Don't hire Reckless as your support.
You've missed a roller coaster year, man. We would have had a wild podcast all year.
Well, we're back, and hopefully 2024 is just as entertaining as 2023 was. So this is where we're going to differ here, or no? So this still might be where we agree. Who will get the most kills in a single game at Worlds? I have ruler. I think Kai'Sa Xayah meta. I mean, what's going to be revealed for a little bit is I believe Nyla is a sleeper pick that's going to show her face, and that champion can run over a game very quickly.
The most important thing about it too is JDG is a team that will willfully play for its bot lane. So it loves just to sit back and let ruler beat ruler and just, flex on them. Just do the things.
I see. Where me and ruler differ, and this is one of the few places where we do differ, is that I have to type in my games to my team to let me carry them.
Honestly, the reason why you can't carry like ruler does? You don't have the wrong glasses. You need to get yourself some just full on.
I am getting glasses this winter, actually. My left eye, I look is blurry. Right eye is slightly blurry. Together they make a functioning vision. But
we'll take a picture of ruler and be like, I need these glasses right here, these ones.
I think I could. I don't know if I could rock it. I would look like a hippie Harry Potter.
It doesn't matter. You'd fucking right click like a motherfucker.
be Tommy Chong of the fucking League of Legends world.
Who cares what you look like if you can A click, right?
Hey man, I might need to get a new keyboard soon. I'm starting to dig into this one.
All right. Next one is, I believe, who will play the most different champions. And I have 369. I
I
think
got Yahoo.
diverse role playing solo laners definitely probably the best choice.
I think a top laner is a good choice for it. I think a support would be a good choice for it. I think that we're actually going to get a very diverse meta this year. That's just what my gut's telling me. Having watched very, very little playoffs and stuff like that, but just got a feeling that we're going to see a very deep. I think the deeper the champion pool, the better. I think Xiaohu's going to go deep in the tournament. I think he's going to go deep into his champion pool. I think he's going to be picking out some. He's going to be flexing some stuff mid. 369 is a good pick, but I think
we'll definitely see some Xiao Galio. I think at least one game.
We might even see a set game.
Potentially. I wonder if Set will show up. I'm trying to think of the comps that will want him specifically. Matchup. The next, I think, is the champion-esque and meta choices. So we could talk about a bit about the meta changes as we talk about these things.
Yeah, I'm actually in the process of changing one of my answers right now.
Oh. Which one?
Who's going to die the most?
So I changed that earlier.
I had it as Camille, but then I'm like, Camille's gonna get picked as a counter pick to a lot of things, but it's just gonna get run over and be fucking picked out by the enemy team, and it's like I think we're gonna see some high death Camille games, but most total deaths, I don't think so. So I just changed that, but let's see. I know who you have, unless you've changed it. Who will have the highest win rate at World? What champion?
And obviously, the biggest thing here is we want minimum games played. The minimum is 5 for this answer, but that's what you're going to be looking for is the things that are so conditional, so that you don't have enough randoms playing them to ruin the win rate, right? What is your pick?
My pick's Nyla. I mean, as a bot laner, I'm a little biased, but the champion is kind of busted. And I think that playing an enchanter support in an in the engage meta right now isn't actually the worst idea. I think Lulu is very strong. You brought up Renata. I think there are some good supports to pair her with when you can put engage in the top half of your map. And just don't lose bot lane. Like, if she goes even in the laning phase, she runs over the mid game. And I think that she's going to, if we see a deep ADC ban, or we might even see some counter logic drafting happen, not to throw any idea at CLG. May they rest in peace out there. But yeah, I think that she's going to get picked, and I think the game that she does get picked is going to be a very good game for her. And so I see if now is locked, the game's a lock.
I wonder if there will be 5 games in Nyla. Would be my biggest question on that. I have Silas, as you know, just because I believe he is a champion that there are enough proficient players at this tournament of, and is conditional enough. He won't show to be wasted. He'll show up whenever he's got a good set of ults to steal, potentially, and probably have good team fight capabilities. And if you're talking about players like Knight and Scout, the Silas is pretty slick. So
I think another good answer would have been Yone.
I would agree, but Dokla is going to be at this tournament, and I 100% believe he will run a game down on Yone. He does like to play it. I think Palafox also plays it, so they could flex it in that team, which is pretty dynamic. Once we get to meta things, I'll definitely want to talk about the Win Bros, because I definitely see a lot of Yasuo on Korean solo queue right now, so he might be someone that shows up and might be a viable answer for this, honestly, as well.
And you know who pairs well with Yone? Nyla.
I still think the ultimate top side is Yone, Diana, Yasuo. That just sounds Like the one game I watched it played, it was so gross. They ran it. The bot lane was feeding, and it didn't matter.
So speaking of running it, who will run it the most? Who will have the most total deaths at Worlds? What champion? I changed mine to Maokai.
I chose it was Rel.
Rel.
Same concept.
They're going to be going in. They both can be flex jungle and support. I think another good answer would be, I mean, any champion that's going to go in and engage champions. Nautilus, Leona.
I wish we saw more pro flex of the Nautilus jungle. It is definitely very playable. Has, it's not incredibly OP or anything, but it's like, Nautilus's kit is really easy to play. It has incredible CC. He's actually mildly quick because of how Q, works in the jungle. Clear speed's good with E. Once these jungle nerfs come in on 1320, we'll maybe see stuff like that more often. Those junglers, those tank junglers that have good AoE clear.
All right, so who will be banned the most? I was just guessing. And just because also I don't fully understand this champion, and he's kind of new, or they're kind of new. She's kind of new. I don't know. But Melio.
Nefiri, maybe.
Nefiri.
I had that as the highest win rate option thought as well, but I'm not sure how much she'll be played.
I might actually, just because of how busted this new Kai'Sa build is, the lethality into Nashers is insanely strong.
It's got good damage split too. It seems to do pretty even line.
Yeah, and isolated Q will half health someone. It's pretty ridiculous. I'm thinking Kai'Sa might be seeing a lot of bans.
I definitely have her for the most picked. The next question, obviously, I think she's 100% the strongest ADC, going to be the most sought after pick there. So I have her there. I think Kalista could be a most banned, just because so many people don't want to deal with some Kalista players. Definitely. I have LeBlanc here.
LeBlanc's a good one. LeBlanc was most banned during summer in a lot of regions.
Yeah, she's been crazy popular with Static Shiv, and they just nerfed Static Shiv and changed a lot of her scaling stats to try and dissuade the AD builds that have popped up in the past few weeks. But they've also buffed her AP ratios while doing that. So I could see that, classic LeBlanc, you just play AP LeBlanc again. The angle is even better than it was, and everyone's been playing her all year, so it might be a pretty easy pickup for some players. And it might be just one of those things that gets banned because they don't want to deal with it. I don't know. This one's hard. I think I'm not very confident with this answer at all.
I'm not either. I just got a feeling that nobody wants to play against this fucking champion. Just like I feel like I don't like I don't want to play against this fucking champion.
Yes.
And we both just said who we got most picked is Kai'Sa.
Yep.
Very strong. We're definitely gonna see a lot of the Halo Blades pickups. I'm hoping we see some build variants because as strong as that lethality build is, if the enemy team has top jungle tank, it's not that good of a build.
I could really honestly, I could believe we'll see all three builds at this tournament.
I hope so. As a Kai'Sa player, I hope so.
I think she's going to be one of those first pickable champions because you don't have to lock yourself into an angle for your own draft by doing so. You can be one Kai'Sa and still not commit to building her in any of the fashions. So you can draft however you want from that point. So we'll probably see that AD contestation in lieu of more crazy power picks for the B1, right? It's pretty common.
I do like the because there's technically 4 builds. There's not to dwell too long on Kai'Sa, but I just wanted to so there's the lethality build that rush Umbral Glaive into Dick Blade into Nashers. There's the Kraken into Hurricane, or into Kraken into Nashers into Rageblade. And then there's the Navori quick blades with lethality. There is one that builds Rageblade first and Bork second.
Interesting.
With Halo blades, and then your just attack speed stacked up, and then you just go.
Yeah, she's definitely. They like the Halo blades tech with her for sure.
I mean, it's bursty as all hell. But let's talk about a different champion who will be played in the most different roles. I think we have two different answers here. I picked Poppy just because I see a three-way flex there, and I think it's going to be a very common three-way flex of top jungle support.
Yeah, I mean, she could be played mid too. I'm just curious on how much she'll be picked for those solo lanes, and I think that's a really good answer.
I think the next best answer is Lee Sin,
which is what I have. Yeah, he's really popular in solo lanes right now on solo queue and KR for whatever reason. Like when we get to talking about the patch here shortly, I still don't understand necessarily why. Like he got better vamp, he got vamp buffs basically, and nerfs to his E scaling. So you're mildly more sustainable, but you have worse scaling wave clear. So it just seems kind of counterintuitive, at least for the immediate solo lane jump. But the kids love to play Lee Sin. They're playing Lee Sin. I'm sure we'll see some fucking Lee Sin.
We're definitely going to see a lot of Lee Sin.
My was definitely Talia. But I'm not sure if we'll see her support.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see Talia support unless someone is drafting their fucking ass off.
Lens would do it, probably.
So we talked about Baron Steals earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I had Weibo getting the most Baron Steals. How many of these Baron Steals will there be? I originally had 9+, being like, just because I just want it to be a very exciting world. I also have a lot of reverse sweeps in mind. I have since changed mine to 6 to 8. I think we're going to see a good number of them, especially because there's going to be a lot of games in the Swiss, and then we get 9 best of 5s. I'm hoping that we get I want to see a competitive playoffs knockout stage, and that to me involves teams coming back, stealing a Baron, getting the pushback, long games.
I have 3 to 5, mostly because I don't expect Piosik to make it into the playoffs this year. So if he's only going to be able to play 3 or 4 games, he's not going to be able to have, more than 3 to 4 Barons stolen from him. So I went with 3 to 5.
And roll a 6-sided dice. Yeah. Which dragon will be killed the most?
I rolled Cloud.
I rolled Chemtech.
No rhyme or reason here.
More of my optimism of how I want the worlds to go. There will be at least 3 pentakills.
And I only have 1 because Zeri is nerfed and probably not going to be as big in the meta unless we see a Jinx resurgence. Those 2 are the general pentakill fuel champs. So I want to say Zeri.
Kai'Sa's meta?
Wild. Yeah, but
I had a pentakill on Ashe last week.
That's fair. Rulers have gotten pentakills on Ashe.
Xayah gets attack speed from her W.
Honestly, Xayah is the best option just because of the feather pull. Because that's huge.
Damage. I want to see a 1E pentakill.
I want to see
just 1 pullback ace.
I want to
pentakill.
See Diana Yasuo Wombo combo pentakill. That would be my dream from what I've just seen the meta look like on solo queue, but Diana is not really pro play scene for whatever reason. I would love it though. It would be fun.
Nyla is a multi-kill machine. She's got some dashes. She may be short range, but she is quick.
That's true. How long are games going to be? What's the longest game?
I don't think they're going to go over 50 minutes. I think that, like, even my longest solo queue game that I've had, and that was a dragger of back and forth, was 47 minutes. So I think we're gonna have at least one long game with a couple. I think there's gonna be one game with like 2 Baron steals in it. And I think the longest game's gonna be 46 minutes and 69 seconds. So 47 minutes and 9 seconds.
I got 45 or less, and I bet it's gonna be in play-ins. I can see a 42-minute. Otherwise, I'm going to sleep.
And
that's what depends on what the game's like, but you know,
I think so. We'll talk about Swiss stage here in a moment, and play-ins are all best of 3s.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lower bracket style. But out of the best of 5s, I like how they're not including the best of 3s in here, because it doesn't really count as a sweep if a team wins one game. But out of the 9 best of 5s that there will be, how many reverse sweeps?
I have only one.
I got 2.
That's me open.
I'm hoping for some, like, I mean, also I got 6 to 8 Baron steals. Like, I think we're gonna. I'm
maximum spice for sure.
I want maximum spice. I
guarantee if there is a reverse sweep, it's going to involve Don Juan Kia as well. I don't know why, but I'm just going to say it right now. I can totally see them pulling it off just as much as I can see them getting swept.
I can see G2 squeaking into the knockout stage and then going 2 up on a Chinese team, and then
Caps winning games against the LPL. What is this? It's never happened.
Claps is on for 2 games, and then he's figured out by game 3, and it's over.
That just means he beats Korean teams. That man has a destiny with being 3-0'd by the LPL. He's had the date more than once.
All right, and so the picks, the 2 teams you picked to advance from Swiss stage. I have GAM and PSG. Golden Guardians is a good choice there.
Yeah, I definitely have the Golden Guardians. I do think that I don't see BDS beating them. Like, I only think BDS has one actually good player. Crownie is pretty good, pretty solid, but I just think the rest of their team is bad. I think Adam is going to get clowned on, and if he does somehow get into the knockout stage, I can't wait to see him lose to random top laners from places we don't even know. But it seems pretty foregone conclusion. GG, and then I said I'm gonna Levi stand, so I'll go with GAM.
PSG and GAM and GG.
All fair.
I'm actually just now seeing this now. Just now seeing this now. That BDS and GG is a best of 5.
Yes, sir. Tomorrow night.
10 p.m. local time. We are in Mountain Time, so that is midnight for you East Coasters. 9 p.m. for you lucky West Coasters. And those of you who are in Korea, welcome to being in a place where you can not only play decent solo queue and watch the games on time.
Thanks for tuning in to the Pod of Ages Season 3 premiere.
I would love to live in Seoul.
Yeah. Man, I don't know if I could do some of those huge mega cities. I'm not sure if I'm cut out for it, honestly, but I would love to have fucking 0 ping and get absolute shit stomped on the Korean server. That sounds fun.
I'm like a saying that the harder I get beat, the better I get. So
be honest. You're honestly not that wrong.
I spent a year in solo queue over there. I'd make it to Masters.
Definitely come out a different beast, to tell you what.
Well,
let's talk a little bit about the meta, since we rolled through these picks. We could talk about the patch, and I know I linked the patch notes right here just to have them accessible.
It's 13.19 is World's patch.
Yes, sir. And I think the biggest changes really that are notable to me that I see are just going to be random shifts in solo lane metas. You know, the Gangplank buff is not amazingly massive on paper, but it could definitely be enough to bring him out for some of these counter picks. You know, he does pretty well into Jax, to my understanding. So with Jax being such a prevalent pick in the meta, we could definitely see some Gangplank. And then this Lee Sin nonsense in the solo lane, as we discussed earlier.
Yeah, and Jhin got a buff, so we're definitely going to see some Jhin get played because it's Worlds, and what would be a Worlds without Jhin getting played?
Yeah, Kuma, why don't you lock in Jhin and Keria can play some more Yumi? That'll go fucking fantastic. It sounds like a dope bot lane, guys. It'll dominate. Make it happen.
Pyke got a buff.
Oh no. Oh, I do want to say we got to talk about this a little bit on since the last season ended around MSI. The whole stance that SKT took, that they only lost that series because RNG got to play on blue side 3 times, was such crap. Dude, imagine disrespecting your opponents that hard in any real competitive sense. Being, oh yeah, you guys won because you got to pick the champion first. Like, oh my god, T1, you guys are a disgrace to your legacy. I'm just going to say that right now, out loud, hot take. Modern T1 is a disgrace to its own legacy. Sorry, Joe Marsh, you do great on talk shows and shit, but oof, talk a lot of shit for someone who doesn't want anything. Sorry, yeah. Pyke got a buff.
Pyke got a buff. Randuin's Omen and Seeker's Arm Guard both got buffs.
That Randuin's buff, I think, is actually pretty significant. Gold.
That's 300 gold, man. That's big. Zeri got a nerf.
Yeah, very good.
Twitch got a very weird buff. His missile speed for his R is increased from 4,000 to 5,000.
Just in case you were sidestepping it.
Yeah, if you were...
It's point and click, I know. Don't worry. Yeah, I get it. It's targeted. I know. It was true. For the viewers. Yeah.
No, it's the missile that passes through after his auto attack.
Yeah. That's true. That's fair.
It's the Syndra buff is not insignificant.
Very important.
It is only 5 damage, but 5 damage in the early game because it is just a flat 5 across all levels of her Q. So 5 damage in the early game matters. And also, you show a pro 5 damage, they see 500 damage, and she's going to get played. Renekton got a nerf to his base magic resistance, which should bump him out of the mid lane.
I think this is going to make the top matchups interesting because you might see just some AP counters chosen against Renekton if so chosen. Like, I know Gwen is already pretty decent into him, I'm pretty sure. So things like that might become difficult. But I think we're going to see Syndra Orianna get hand shook mid lane a lot this Worlds. We will see more diverse things, but brace yourselves, it's coming.
This one matters for solo queue. AP Nunu got a buff.
Yeah. Whenever you need a disco Nunu to disco faster.
Lyssandra's buff is not insignificant. An extra fraction of a second on her root of her W. Which I think that matters more than 5 damage in pro play.
Something you'd be interested in knowing too is Lysandra has been being played by Mickey X on G2 support a lot as a counter to Rakan. And as we both know,
he's just charging in, and she's just like, no.
Dude, no, yeah, like it's wild. Mickey X has played a crazy great year. Like he deserves his praise in the international scene. Like he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. Hopefully, G2 is up to the caliber to make all of his skill worthwhile. But yeah, he's been playing Lysandra support as a Rakan counter. Rakan is always viable, but Lysandra is a huge support or a huge counter against the block mid too. So I think we'll see quite a bit of Lysandra.
Caps plays Lysandra
this year. Mm-hmm. And bless his heart, so does Rookie. We wish we were here. God, one of these days, Rookie has to come back to Worlds, like for fucking real, right? Like that has to happen eventually. If you guys aren't watching the LPL and watching Rookie, like you're missing out. The dude is still cracked. Like not just good, like he is still fucking insane. And he somehow doesn't ever come to Worlds. It's wild.
Tragic, man. You should play more solo queue.
Yeah, that's what he does. Him and Jackie Love.
He's on the same team with Jackie Love?
Mm-hmm. They're on top esports now.
How is that team not at Worlds? Jesus Christ. LPL's fucking...
They have TN.
Oh.
They have TN. And TN always does what TN does when it matters.
So back to the Worlds patch. Let's talk about the LeBlanc changes because there are a good bit here. 5% on her AP ratios to her W and her E. Her attack speed growth is up. Her attack speed ratio is down. Her mana growth is in the toilet. From 55 per level to 25 per level.
And the regen growth is also down.
So while she is gonna be she's not gonna be able to do as much dancing as she used to do.
No.
But those dances, if she dances in and she's full AP, it's gonna hurt a bit more.
And this is just in response to Static Shiv, Triforce, Hullbreaker, LeBlanc, which was a popular build in solo queue because of how Static Shiv works and builds up charge, and the fact that her base damages were just good enough and her numbers were just good enough, you could be the most annoying AD spellcasting champion in the world. So the concept here is if you take all of her free mana in her like scaling out, she is going to be more reliant on these mage items that give you mana and mana growth so that she can do what she does, so that she can no longer just have these things free in her scaling, I guess.
Now she's just going to build full fucking crit and build Essence Reaver and never run out of mana and just keep dancing around forever.
Yeah, just change the Static Shiv build again. I love that they brought Static Shiv back, but holy crap, has it been problematic in its iteration. It had AP scaling for a while, if you didn't know. They put AP scaling on it.
It still does.
No, they make it's AD scaling. It does magic damage, only AD scaling now.
Then the tooltip in game is wrong, which wouldn't surprise me. But I just saw it was a 15%. It was a 15% AP ratio.
I mean, I'm pretty sure they took it out. Let me see. But let me double check.
Speaking of Static Shiv, its damage to minions is reduced by 50.
Oh, it does still have the AP ratio. What? I thought they made that AD. Alright, well. Really?
Which is why Kaisa can still build. If it had AD ratios, I think it'd be too busted. Maybe it used to be AD and they made it AP.
Let's see. Let me see if I can find all the.
So while you're looking for that, I'm just gonna get it out there that Briar is disabled for Worlds. So,
but Nefiri is not.
Nefiri is not. Briar is. Emilio is, or Emilio's in. Nyla's in. These are the new champions that came out since I last played. And I think it's just going to be. I think it's going to be a fun meta. I'm just going to leave it at that, just because I think we're definitely going to do an episode after.
The first week.
You want to do what you want to do one every week?
Or, I mean, we can get the schedule ironed out exactly. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see how the meta evolves as the tournament progresses. We're watching a bit of the Korean solo queue grind to see what people are cooking up. And honestly, I'm seeing a lot of Yasuo. I'm seeing Lee Sin. I'm seeing a lot of the Syndra Ori. I'm seeing the Control Mage as expected. There's a lot of things that are very typical. Some stuff that's atypical. I saw a Warwick in Korean Challenger playing jungle, and his handle was La Cucaracha. And he was like 14, 3, and 15. And just RN on people. Ghost, Warwick, Challenger, Korean solo queue. Running the game.
I mean, I would love to see a Warwick get picked in Worlds.
I mean, conceptually, it's just. I was making the joke that Briar is to Warwick, that Seraphine is to Sona, and that Kaisa is to Vayne. It's just a new version of the same champ, basically. Semi-global ultimate with Warwick too when you pop Ghost.
Yeah, run him down. So let's go over what the schedule is real quick, because I don't want this to go on for too long. We don't have too much to talk about. The games haven't happened yet.
Sure. So we have BDS and Golden Guardians with that World's Qualifying Series, as they're calling it, tomorrow night at 10 p.m.
10 p.m. Mountain Time.
10 p.m. Mountain Time. Best of 5. So that's our first best of 5. And then we're going into the best of 3 for the play-in stages, which will include our wild card regions and the winner of said qualifying series. Looks like Movie Star R7 versus PSG Talon will be our first game on Tuesday morning, with Loud from Brazil against Vietnam's Gam to follow. Honestly, I feel like some best of 3 series would be cool to see what these regions are cooking up, especially Gam. They should be a really fun series to watch.
So I'm going to look at a calendar here, because play-ins are going to last about a full. I think it's a full week.
Just a week.
Sunday, October 15th is the last game of play-ins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's short this year. Thank God.
So I think we should aim for episode 2 of this season. Probably right after Swiss starts. We can be a day into the Swiss. So I'm saying that Friday or that Saturday.
Yeah.
So we can be through play-ins, and we can be a chunk we can be through the first round of Swiss. Or actually, why is it showing best of 3s all of a sudden?
For what, Swiss?
So look at Saturday the 21st, because the first round of Swiss starts Wednesday. Or the 19th for you guys in the East Coast. Thursday.
Yep.
But for us, it's Wednesday.
Because have all the elimination games are best of 3s.
So then why after the first round of, or is it because there's how many fucking teams again? 16?
16.
So that means there's gonna be 8 games. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, there's 2 days of Swiss, and then there's a best of 3. And then there's 2 best of 3s.
Yeah, it's either the progression or your knockout. If I think the play for your lives games might all be best of threes. So when you look at I stand to be corrected on this, but I'm pretty sure this is how it is. If you go to the standings tab and then go to Swiss, you can see the bracket all laid out in a really big, chunky, terrible manner. But all of the red boxes are the 2 losses matches, and I'm pretty sure all of those are best of threes.
Okay,
Stand to
yeah,
be
October. Yeah,
corrected.
October 23rd. Wait, October 20.
All right, and then those we have October 23rd as the first set of best of threes. October 27th and 28th is another set, and then October 28th is the last set. Should be
Okay.
on the schedule for best of threes.
So I think 2 weeks we can get through the first round. We can get through the first couple rounds of Swiss. We can know the meta a bit more. We'll have a bit more to talk about rather than just play-ins. And because we won't even be through play-ins this time next week.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. We'll definitely just get over and through play-ins because even we can have some good. There's honestly, I think these will be really fun series to watch actual best of threes against teams that amongst teams that are well matched and not just getting blown out for a change. So I think this is going to be a very entertaining way to do play-ins, which would be nice. But there's really not going to be a whole lot to talk about. I agree with you on that. I think once we get like the first round of Swiss down, see some good games of high-level teams, we can contrast what the meta looks like with those first round to the play-ins and have a bit more discussion.
Nice.
But before we roll out, I'm going to hit you with my ranking of the teams because I have a list for funsies.
Let's see it.
Since I have at least, since I've watched most of the pro stuff this year, we'll give at least a little rundown. We've already talked about JDG.
Sorry, I just fucked up the whole image here, but it's back now. It's back now.
All right, cool. Yeah, we already talked about JDG, clear favorites. They haven't lost a best of 5. They are effectively the super team that's working amongst all of the super teams that literally just exploded this year, which has been a colossal failure for a lot of GMs, honestly. But they are crazy talented. It's no joke. They're going to be good. So we'll see how good. Hopefully, they can bring home the Grand Slam. This is like one of the only other times a team has walked into Worlds having won both their spring and summer finals and MSI. And we might see the entire international format change next year. So the Grand Slam will never again be possible the same way. So it'd be cool if a team could finally do it before we change it all up. Kind of really rooting for them on that regard. It's a good storyline. But the interesting things I think at this point in this world tournament is my 2-3 is BLG and then LNG. BLG has had a crazy good year. They're looking really strong. They were really strong at MSI. They didn't quite show up for LPL playoffs, but they've had a good enough year that I still think they're the second best team in the world. And I don't actually have a Korean team in my top 3 at all. I do have LNG number 3 because of how well they've looked against JDG when no other team could do it. I think Korea is in a pretty tough spot this year, and I have Genji and T1 taking up 4 and 5, but I don't even know if T1 is really number 5. I think Dom1 might end up being the strongest team out of Korea this year. We'll see. That's a real long shot, maybe. They've had a pretty year as well, so. But we should see. I think it's going to be a fun time. China's looking very good. East versus West gap is still very big. But I think the hot take here is really that I think the gap between China and Korea is actually larger than the gap between like Korea and G2 specifically. You know?
Yeah, you can't say EU. You have to say G2
Yeah,
specifically.
You really can't. Yeah, like NA teams look bad this year. I don't think they're gonna have a good showing. I think maybe GG could. Hopefully, they play some really cool games and we can make it look like we have a team that came together. I don't know what anyone else is gonna do, but I think Weibo and Dom1 could be some really fun teams to watch if they really click. They could be really spicy, really fun. Showmaker is looking hot in solo queue. I think it's gonna be a good time.
I'm excited for Worlds.
The format change is actually very exciting.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Swiss formatting. I think it's going to be very interesting and very fun. A lot more fun than just groups. But it is still going to be luck of the draw. We'll see what the teams get the drawings in Swiss. I didn't do an introduction at the top of the episode. I am Doomfunk. You can follow me on Twitter at DoomyFunky. This is recorded live on Twitch, twitch.tv/Doomfunk. This handsome gentleman is the Paradox Pope. You can follow him on Twitter at Paradox Pope.
As well as Twitch. I don't usually stream very often, but maybe one day I will if I decide I'm going to play up to 50 to 70 ranked games this year. You know, Plat seems very obtainable since it is just a fucking fiesta. Everyone is very bad now, so.
Yeah.
What
is our duo queue together? 8-1.
With you playing AD and me support, yeah, we're like 8-1 right now.
So
something like that.
Next year we're gonna make a run. We're gonna make sure that at least two of the spots.
That loss, I swear.
We don't talk about that goddamn game.
I was so upset, man. Like, both played it so fucking well. Jeez. How good do you have to play in freaking silver to win a game? Like, Jesus, man, I'm telling you.
Well, since they took out the 1v5 and Freak is now wanting to take out Snowball even more.
I swear, I don't know when Jungle in 13-20 might be over again.
Just give it up and be a support, man. Or fucking play mid lane.
I play top for whatever reason, because I hate myself.
Yeah, when I hate myself, I also play top. This has been the Pod of Ages. Make sure you if you've made it this far into the podcast, we do want to thank you for stopping by and listening to our banter and our very, very silver insight at the moment. Gold, my mistake. Gold and silver insight.
Gold, silver. It's all the same after they've made the changes.
Yeah.
On the ranking system, we know we're both silver still.
Sub master insight. We'll be back in 2 weeks with another episode. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like and subscribe. And if you're listening to this on any other podcasting thing, that means that I've actually done my due diligence and ripped the audio off of this and uploaded it. So
we did it. Mainstream.